Welcome back, learners, to Lesson 31, Session 2, the practice page. Okay, let's see how you did here. Remember, they gave you a list of the attributes of a parallelogram. Remember, a parallelogram has all of these things. So you can use this kind of as a checklist as we do our work. Okay, in number 1, is shape A a parallelogram? Let's look at our shape A. What are some things that you notice? They have two sides the same length and two sides the same length, but does it meet the requirements of a parallelogram? Remember, a parallelogram has to have 4 sides, 4 angles, 2 pairs of parallel sides, and 2 pairs of sides that are the same length. So this is not a parallelogram. No, shape A is not a parallelogram. It has some attributes of a parallelogram, but not 2 pairs of parallel sides. So it does have 4 sides, it does have 4 angles, but it does not have 2 pairs of parallel sides. Notice that when we use our toothpicks, if that line keeps going and this one, see how they touch? They're not the same distance apart. We can't do these also. The opposite sides, they will eventually touch. See that? And then those will eventually touch too. So if we lay them out, those are not parallel. Okay, number 2. What is another kind of quadrilateral that is also a parallelogram? So notice up here they talked about trapezoids. They talked about a rhombus. And they talked about a rectangle. And in our last session, we learned that a square is also a parallelogram. So a square is a parallelogram. It has all the attributes of a parallelogram. And then it has 4 equal sides, but it does meet all the expectations of a parallelogram. It has 4 sides, 4 angles, 2 pairs of parallel sides, and 2 pairs of sides that are the same length. Okay, number 3, fill in the blanks. Use information from the table above. Every rhombus is a parallelogram, right? Because if we come up here, which ones are parallelograms? Notice a rhombus, we have yes for all of them. And we also have yes for all of the attributes for a rectangle. So rectangle meets all the requirements of a parallelogram. Rhombus meets all the requirements for a parallelogram, but a trapezoid does not, because it does not have opposite sides that are parallel. Okay, let's go to the back. Let's do this one together. Okay, use the table to solve problems 4 through 7. The attributes are listed here, and then we have our 4 shapes, a parallelogram, a rhombus, a rectangle, and a square. Oh, wait, no, we don't have to do the table. We have to use this table for down here. Okay, there we go. I was like, wait, we have nothing to fill in. It's all done for us. Okay, number 4, circle all the quadrilaterals that are rhombuses. Remember, a rhombus has all 4 sides are the same length. So let's look at our quadrilaterals. Which of these have 4 sides that are the same length? We have our square and we have our rhombus. Does not have sides that are the same length. This one does not have 4 sides that are the same length. Okay. Now we need to circle all the quadrilaterals that are rectangles. Remember, rectangles have to have 4 right angles. I notice this has 4 right angles. And I notice this one has 4 right angles. This one does not. I cannot make a corner out of that. Notice I can't make that corner. See how it doesn't make a corner? So this is not a rectangle, and this is not a rectangle, because we don't have 4 right angles. Okay, let's go ahead and read our sentences and mark them as either true or false. All squares are rectangle. Yes. They meet all this expectations. All rectangles are parallelograms. Yes, all rectangles are parallelograms. Oh, my pencil broke. Okay. All parallelograms are rectangles. Are all parallelograms rectangles? No. Some parallelograms don't have right angles. So it's possible to have a parallelogram that is not a rectangle because it does not have 4 right angles. Okay, like this one right here. It's a parallelogram, but it's not a rectangle because my side or my angles are not right angles. All quadrilaterals are parallelograms. That is false. Quadrilaterals have to have four sides, and so do parallelograms. But parallelograms have to have opposite sides that are parallel and the same length. So remember, our quadrilaterals can look like what we did in our practice. Remember, this is a quadrilateral, but it's not a parallelogram because it does not have that second set of sides that are parallel. And the last one, all parallelograms are quadrilaterals. Yes, they are, because quadrilaterals have to have four sides, and all parallelograms have four sides. So number 7, Jamie says that some rectangles are not squares. Do you agree? Explain. Yes, we agree with Jamie. A rectangle is a square only if it has four sides of the same length. Rectangles only sometimes have four sides of the same length. So we always say that all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. And we'll even talk about that when you make it to middle school. Okay, have a good day.